Hello and welcome to another video. In this one, it is the FCN tournament and the players are Wennfel and Leral, two very experienced players. I once again have Dan with me. He's not taking part in this battle,
Hello.
but he will still presumably have insights on tactics.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk us through
Oh,
Wenfel's likely build here? It seems to be Italy as per usual.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty normal Ellie build. Same kind of rules as before. For the previous video, if that comes out before this or whatever, I don't know. But he goes for 2 3-pounders instead of 1 6-pounder, which is obviously the better choice. However, the 6-pounder could be useful because this map's very long. Depending on how the battle really turns out. Very interesting cav build. So Italy's not got any light cav. That's been changed for the new patch. It's been like that for a while. It's quite stupid, and I feel terrible for everyone who has to deal with it. But to make up for it, they've got incredibly good lancers. The Lanciers de Berg. Some people say it's for the Confederation of the Rhine, but no, they're from Naples. And you also have the Neapolitan Cuirassier. Beautiful
That is some
cav.
uniform, yeah.
Probably one of my favorite. Yep. That's also something people say is wrong. It is not wrong. They wear pink. Same with the Lanciers de Berg. I adore the Italian uniforms. They're probably one of my favorite. I think they are my favorite uniforms in of all factions. But yeah, he's gone for mainly the special line infantry, the second line infantry battalion, with the red breasts. They are actually grenadiers. However, the previous developer did not actually make them grenadiers for an unknown reason. But he's gone for, so he's got that grenadier. He's got some Velite, I believe I saw somewhere. Let's see. Does he have Elite? I'm gonna assume he does. Yeah, he does. In the forest. But he also has a shit ton of line infantry. So the Italian line infantry, pretty basic, slightly better than average, I believe. But the special line infantry, so that's anything that has a number next to line infantry, they are a slightly improved version of the basic line. Should be. I don't know what faction Leral actually takes, but I think for Wenfel's playstyle, he's got very solid armor for him. Just 4 cav, 2 heavy cav to block up, and 2 lancers to charge in the back. I reckon he's a good chance with a cavalry engagement. I don't actually know what happens in the battle. I know who wins. But yeah, that's about it.
I believe that the numbered infantry, at least 2 of them, also have Inspire or Scare. I can't remember which one. Which Wennfel really likes.
That is the second line. Yeah, so that's the second line infantry battalion, is because they are supposed to be elite grenadiers. Um, they were elite as far as I know when I was making them quite a few months ago. I can't remember all the facts, but they were a very solid regiment, which gives them the reason to have Inspire and Scare, I think it is. They were supposed to be a middle ground between Velite and line infantry, but unfortunately, as said before, the developer before didn't really give them the price for that, or the name for it either.
Incidentally,
Yeah,
Leral is
that's
playing
yeah.
Great Britain.
Oh, he's playing Great Britain.
And
Okay,
we're off.
okay, this will be. Yeah, I see the British flag now. That should be very interesting because the British have fantastic shooting. They will rip you ragged, but the Italians can bring a lot more men. So we'll see the contrast. It looks like Wenfel's splitting his army in 2, so basically reinforcing his whole army on the right. I'm not gonna make the assumption he's doing that because he realizes if Lero's smart, the main part of the engagement will be in that big open field, because that's what the British want. They want a straight gunfight where they can outshoot you, and there's no real changes to that. So Wenfel's going to try and stack up on that side, outnumber the British there, while also moving a small force to the left, maybe to cover the river, or to cover the crossing in the town area, as that would be quite helpful against the British. You can cut them down, slow them. Splitting his cavalry into as well. Velite Grenadiers looking to go to the right. Second line Grenadiers going to the left.
Splitting his army may
Interesting,
also
very
have the
interesting.
advantage of, it looks like there's a massive split down the middle of the battlefield that's probably difficult to go between. So if he outnumbers the British and the British aren't expecting it, he can potentially do a defeat in detail.
Yep, or he could collapse on the other side. And also he could force the British into fighting in that little town area, which is not what you want to be doing when you're Britain, because Britain is known for not being the best in a melee unless you bring all Scottish troops, but unfortunately you can't do that anymore. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough for the British depending on where they deploy. I don't know where Leral moving. He's got Duke of Wellington, so he's got good general support, but it all depends on where we see it. Also, Wennfel should have the cavalry advantage over Britain, and I'm going to go out on a whim and say Leral knows that. I think Leral's not brought a lot of cavalry because he knows he'll be outclassed, and so instead of bringing lots of cavalry, he's brought far more infantry. And as I say that, some British Dutch dragoons do appear. Probably just to try and snipe some cannons. Some fast-moving scout cav, you know. It can help. Yeah, cheap, very cheap.
Entirely convinced trying to snipe cannons against one of the best players in the server is really going to happen, but okay.
Yeah, but you need to remember both Leral and Wennfel are some of the best players. I would say Leral has been playing for a far longer time than Wennfel. Wennfel's a very good player, but if I were to see a battle between Wennfel and Leral, I would think Leral would win it, just because he's got far more experience. I've played with him a lot more, I've seen his playstyle a lot more, and I know he probably is pretty well suited to play as Britain, as far as I think, which is why he chose them.
Actually, no, after the
and also,
game he did say he didn't like
English as well. I wonder why he chose them then. I mean, he is English, so I guess he might have felt
the same way that when I play Britain, I bring all the Scottish troops, even though,
yeah.
I know.
I mean, they are actually statistically better. It looks like Wennfel actually, with his 3-pounders, pretty smart move. He's going to try and throw them down on the river, so if he gets charged, he can canister them, because the river will slow. And there's also a tree line. But the other thing is, he can shoot up the line of the house, so if they try and protect that little house, if they try and take it, he can shoot up through that. He's also protected on the right. It's a nice little cannon position, but it could backfire a little bit for him, because it doesn't give you a lot of places to shoot at, because it's covered by trees.
Yeah.
Looks like Wennfel's just going for a defense. He's not crossing the river, he's just going to stay back a little bit. Another unit of British Dutch appears, so that's 2 units of light cav.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to think he brought the Duke of Uxbridge and nothing else.
Looking at the map, it does...
oh no, Horse Guards. Horse Guards, okay.
Looking at the map, it would say that Wennfel probably has a slightly easier starting position with the location of line of command points.
Yeah, so if we were to look at it from Leral's cavalry being his kind of infantry position that he's going to form up on, he would have 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and then 4. Yeah, he would have 7 points in total, depending on whether or not you would count the 3-pointer in the town as his.
Or 6, depending on the 3-pointer.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think they're going to end up fighting over this 3-pointer. Oh, some KGL Lightfoot coming to the right side. So yeah, it does look like Wennfel's just going for a full-on defense, because if he were to move up his left a little bit more, he'd be able to technically cover the house, which would give him another point, and it would mean that Leral would be forced to take the 3-point house. But at the same time, Wennfel's not covering that house at all. So I would say, I mean, Leral's got some rifle corps moving up. He could quite easily just form a line there, but Wennfel again has that 3-pounder, so he can just sit there and canister you.
That is an interesting kind of position on Wennfel's right, though, because he seems to be trying to just use the river as a blockade against Cav, and then just have his Cav on
he also moved it.
Crossing.
Yeah, he moved that 3-pounder from being able to shoot up the town to being next to the rock. So it looks like, I mean, that rock's going to cover any shots he does towards the house area.
Maybe just relying on the...
he's crossing the river.
Back on his left as well.
Very interesting. Oh, he's just reforming around his artillery. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, love a glitching. Why the? Why is there just a
Yeah,
floating boat in the
I've
middle
always
of
found
the-
this map amusing for that one reason. It's presumably it wasn't placed at the right height or something.
Oh, looks like Leral moved his light cap forward a little bit, maybe to try and see if he could sneak a charge, but he realised it wouldn't be worth it. Oh, yeah, British infantry forming up on the right. There's a decent amount of them. 79th Cameron, very good line infantry unit. Some Royal Scots Fusiliers, a bit worse than the British, but still pretty good. Foot battalions, foot battalion, foot battalion,
He does
foot
have light
battalion.
on his
He,
right though.
he is now outnumbering the Italians. However, the cannon is beginning to sing. Putting some 5 light cav. Oh yeah, no. Units appearing out of nowhere means that Leral's left, so Wennfel's right, is now being outmanned. That's not good for Wennfel, because he's now going to have to... If he tries to retreat, Leral's going to advance closer, and he can actually shoot Wennfel as he tries to retreat across the river, which is bad for him.
Wennfel's also
Oh,
counter-marching a lot
three-pounder,
of
yep.
his line over to the left. Away from there, for some reason.
Yeah, I think he does realise this is a good defensive position. However, Leral is now setting up his 3-pounder. Very nice little transition of setting up the 3-pounder, because he moved his infantry on the left a little bit forwards, which created an automatic gap for his 3-pounder to be able to shoot through to hit Wennfel's 3-pounder. That was quite nice to watch. But it depends on who can. This is going to become a game of counter battery. Who's going to kill each other's 3-pounders by shooting it first? I think this is a misplay in Leo's half. I don't think he can. You can see the front line of Wennfel, and you can also see the reserve unit of Wennfel moving around. I don't know if he doesn't know that that's all Wennfel has there, but he could absolutely walk that his left flank up to Wenfel's line, fight it from the side, and then basically go across the river, go round him, and completely avoid the 3-pounder by forcing Wenfel's infantry to
You
be
might have
blocking
just
it.
seen the 3 light infantry walking away and assumed that they went into the forest instead of all the way back there.
Yeah. Very interesting so far. Bit of a shame watching this missed opportunity from Leral, but at the same time, we don't actually know if it would have worked. But that leaves the question: is are we now seeing Leral's whole army? Because
Here's an arrow.
Britain doesn't have a lot of men. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, he's moving his rifle corps up to now shoot at the Italians, but Wennfel is trying to run away from
He does
that.
actually have a 6-on-6 on Wennfel's right. And then he has an extra 3 units,
Yep.
but there's probably a chance that Wennfel will be able to shuffle some over.
Oh, more units coming to Leral's left.
I think he might be trying to put a cannon where the rifles are, actually. Because it's pretty well protected from a cav charge.
Very much. Oh yes, I see what you're talking about now. Or he could be setting up where it is now, because that would protect it from both artillery, and you'd be able to you'd be able to freely shoot the Italian infantry there that are now pressing in his infantry. But Leral has now completely outnumbered the left. Or Wennfel's right, sorry. But now Wennfel's protecting that farmhouse, so it depends on whether or not the canister is going to be able to reach. It looks like Leral, I would say, in the next few minutes, I think Leral's going to be able to take the farmhouse relatively easily. Also, one of his cavalry divisions. Oh no, where's his heavy cav gone? It's a good. Yeah. Oh, I really hope that Leral moves up here, because he can severely outflank the Italians here and trap them on this side of the river.
I think the double bluff Wennfel's pulling just now of actually walking forwards might be putting them off.
It could be booting them off, but even if it was booting me off, I would still probably advance and test the waters a little bit. Oh, he's shooting at the infantry now. I think he's trying to weaken that front line. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Leral did what I thought he was going to do. He stopped his 3-pounder and he's firing at the infantry now. That's a good idea. Because I do believe he is outnumbered on his right, but he is moving an infantry unit over, and he does have a Royal Marine there too. Ooh, skirmishers firing on the 7th line, but the 7th line is now moving up in the rifle corps. A volley could do a lot of damage to them. Oh, yes! Leral's moving forwards on the left.
Oh, that rifle corps.
That
lost
is what I'd
3
like to
men in that
see.
volley. This is quite an outflank. This is
Ah,
quite
I
a flank.
didn't notice them. Only thing is a little bit worrying. I don't see any elite infantry on Leral's left.
Black.
Oh, yep, Wennfel's
Yeah.
immediately falling back. No inspiring infantry could mean a bad situation for Leral if his infantry were to start breaking. However, he is playing as Britain.
Yeah.
It's not like his infantry have 8 morale or something.
Yeah.
Ooh, looks like Wenfel's going for a little bit of a possible flank with some Neapolitans on the left.
Oh, yeah. They're going quite wide.
Yeah.
They are heading to here. Oh wait,
Ooh.
look at
That's where
Leo,
the
what he's doing with his
infantry
cannon. He's limbered it back up. Maybe he's...
Yep. Wonder where he is moving now. Oh, he's just moving it forwards, it looks. I think he might be trying to possibly...
Yeah.
He could be, but he also could be trying to shoot through the forest into the infantry, or he could be trying to hit the infantry on the right. This is interesting. Oh, gunfight has begun a little bit on the left.
Battalions are already gone into the
Looks like yeah, looks like Leral is winning that. To be fair, the Royal Highland Foot Battalion also went into the orange.
Yeah.
Whether they are now back in green. This could be pretty bad for Wennfel if he doesn't play this right. Leral's going for a cavalry flank around the left that could force some squares.
Yeah.
However, we don't know if Leral has any reinforcements over here on the left, because Wennfel is now advancing his reinforcements. And Leral looks like Wennfel made a bad mistake. He's blocked off his artillery's canister or being able to shoot with his own infantry. So now if he were to fire now at the big blob of infantry Leral's moving, he would hit his own men, and he also can't canister. And Leral's using this very nicely because he's advancing now. He's pushing very hard in that light infantry battalion.
His cannon
Already
on
down
the
to 200
Wennfel's
men.
left.
But bear question is, what is Leral's infantry doing now? They're just kind of standing sideways into the enemy.
And they're in the red. What happened?
Oh. Cameron's good break. Yeah, he's just getting shot. Neapolitan Cuirassier coming to reinforce.
First line, I think.
Yeah, Leral's
first
biggest
line
mistake,
is
so nothing.
The second line as well.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah, second line would scare. Yeah, but he's also bringing Wennfel's bringing Neapolitan Cuirassier. I think a big problem for Leo right now is he doesn't have any inspiring troops on the left. So now that he's being out-inspired, he's also being scared. His infantry are struggling a lot more than they were before.
He also hasn't won the engagement that significantly. The Italians haven't been...
Yeah, I think he did do a lot of damage, however. He did a lot of damage to the line infantry battalion, however, I think he possibly took more losses, yeah.
The ones on Wennfel's right have actually taken losses. There are ones at 230,
I think
230, 222.
He should realistically move the Black Watch off the artillery and move them to the left to be able to inspire his own infantry. He could pull one of the foot battalions next to the house back, because anyone that attacks that house is going to end up losing. So you can probably just have one unit in the house, one unit next to it, one unit of infantry to cover the artillery, the Black Watch to cover your infantry on the left. But yeah, without that, even with the morale boost of being British and having that much morale, he's still gonna get fucked over by scare troops.
I remember, the Italians do have quite a lot of scare troops that are non-elite.
Yeah. I think it is only one though. I think they only have the second line infantry battalion. I think they're the only one that has scare and inspire.
I think all the numbered ones have one of the two, at least.
No, I think they just have better stats, because the only reason the second have inspire and scare are because they're supposed to be elite infantry. Or at least from what I remember from making them.
Oh, and here come the few pounders again. Just walking them further forward.
Wonder.
I think he's trying to force
Yeah,
the
he's going to be
Italians
getting
off
into
of that
casters.
farmhouse. Because they do actually,
Yeah,
the
it's an
Italians do
interesting
have men in that house, I think.
Oh, looks like Wennfel's going for a push on his left to the British line.
Leral seems to have walked into canister here.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I think Leral's going to lose this right because Wennfel has, he's maneuvered the cav around them to scare, so he's going to be able to, he's going to move them in and out, and he's going to use them to charge the retreating infantry, force them into squares, and his infantry can stand and shoot them as they send square. Horse guard moving. I think Leo can kill this Neapolitan cuirassier with a square and the horse guards, but in a proper engagement,
the
Neapolitan cuirassier will beat them. Oh, the cuirassier will beat the horse guards in a straight one-on-one engagement. However, with a square, it might stop him. Leo goes for a charge in the 3-pounder in the middle, but gets blocked by the Lancier de Berg, who shatter the British Dutch in a second. Wow, that looked a bit sore. Yeah, that's how good Lancers can be sometimes, especially when your enemy's crossing a river. Caught him in the sight and he was gone. Looks like Wennfel tried to do something towards the British Rifle Corps, but the British Rifle Corps absolutely destroyed the Lanciers de Berg. They're down to 67 men now. I would not be trying that.
Infantry aren't looking too great either. Yeah, concerned fighting unit. There's a fighting unit here somewhere. Royal Marine Battalion?
I'm rooting for Leral here. Yeah. I'm rooting for Leral here. I think he's made some good plays, he's made some good decisions, and he's being forced into attack, but I like Wennfel's playstyle. He's being aggressive when he needs to be, he's retreating when he needs to be too. I mean, he's making a few mistakes, but he's being able to hold those mistakes off with better decisions in the future, specifically being able to charge that British Dutch with the Lanciers de Berg.
Well, the Lanciers de Berg are doing something else. Yeah. They're going for the unit crossing the river.
They're going for the British Rifles. They're going for the British Rifles.
Yeah, that's the rifles gone.
Oh, they do get a volley off, but was it enough? No, it wasn't. British Rifle Corps disappear.
And the Lancers died as well.
Ooh, he might be trying to catch out those 3-pounders as well at the same time, but no, he gets them. The Lanciers de Berg do break.
The Synth line are charging.
But was that a worthy trade for the skirmishers?
Oof.
While that happens, Wennfel's also moving his 3-pounder up to try and possibly set it up before the British can stop the 7th Light charge. Yeah, Wennfel's going to be trying to kill that cannon, and Leral's been caught out because he doesn't have any reinforcing infantry there.
Careful, because that regiment de Lanciers de Berg could easily come back behind him.
Yeah, and also the Italian infantry there could release a volley into his general, and the general is standing frontways, so he will get hit by a bullet first.
You can see him right there.
But Leral might break the 7th line with his Royal Marine Battalion.
The Grenadiers are entering now.
Ooh, I think Leral's lost the cannon.
He needs to shoot off that canister into the back of his own men, I think.
Ooh, yeah, he also hit the Velite though.
Not doing enough.
He needs to hold for this cannon to fire a little bit faster.
No. Oh dear, yeah, the cannon's gone.
No, they were a bit.
Oh no, hang on.
Got them.
Italians broke. Who was running? Oh wait, the cannon on the Leral's cannon on the left is gone. It's down to 1.
Ooh, must have been hit by a cannon shot. Yep, it was.
Yeah, where men are running was for.
So it looks like Wennfel may have trapped himself a little bit. It looks like it was a bit of a failed charge where on Leral's artillery on the right. However, he still has a pretty good chance to pull this back.
Cav is going into the rear of the British King German Legion foot. Oh, he's getting the cannon.
Oh, Leral lost the cannon.
And he's just fired into the cannon as well. Wennfel is very good at the forming square to get a little bit extra range.
Yeah, good choice, because he's being able to fire in 3 directions.
Oh, the Lancer de Berg did come back, look. And the cannon's gone.
Oh. Leral has got his general face backwards as well. He could get caught by them.
Oh.
I feel like it's pretty definitive now to say I think Leral has lost the
He's
artillery
actually
position on the
managed
right.
to keep the crew alive.
He has, but the problem is he's now being
He's not gonna
outnumbered
get
in
them
that
back.
area. He's got cavalry behind him. He is trapped, yeah. If he tries to put them back at the cannons, they will
And
die.
he's also got his general in a spit of land with cav bearing down on it. Oh, and oh gosh.
British Royal Marines doing something pretty stupid. They're just standing head first into the 7th plane, but they go for the charge now.
General. Look at the Lancer de Berge.
Oh, is he gonna lose it? Is he able to break the Lancier de Berg first though? No, the Lancier de Berg's morale goes up.
Ouch. I think the main general's got away though, which is pretty lucky.
I think he has. He's been able to block it off with his cavalry, but Wennfel's got Neapolitan Cuirassier at the same time on the other side, but they go for the British Marines instead. Which means there's now no inspiring troops on Leral's right. So Wennfel's now able to just outflank the right side of Leral with cavalry. He's got dominance and he's got artillery.
The town has been charged by cav. Cuirassiers. Oh dear. Oh, and it's just completely shattered.
Yeah, that looks like the morale support of the right is now gone. He can now charge up flank. Leral's forced to form squares. Yep, Leral's right's gonna be gone and pretty soon.
Isn't in a great state either. And the cannon broke.
Leral's rebooted the artillery.
We just fired.
Yeah, they're gone.
Ouch. I think Wennfel definitely has the upper hand here because he's got what, 2 cannons with both guns, whereas Leral's now only got 1 cannon with 1 gun. And he's getting completely smashed on this, right? Though, he is doing a bit of damage. Also, the Black Watcher down 17 men simply because they were standing next to the cannon.
That's a shame.
And here's an floating boat.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, Leral does actually manage to break one of the units on Wennfel's left. However, he's now being outflanked, and there's a 3-pounder about to fire canister into him.
I don't think the British really have much cav left. It's what, 1 light brigade now? Maybe horse guards somewhere?
Yes, I do think it is 1. Yeah, he does have horse guards somewhere, but I don't know where.
The Italians even are having to pull back on the right. He somehow managed to stave that off, presumably with the British superior shooting.
Yeah, I think that 1 unit breaking for the Italians was really not good for them.
You can see where the Italians were. No, Wennfel is now able to push through the centre, and he's probably going to get that farmhouse soon. Which will definitely force Leral into an attack.
Yeah.
Some cav movement from Leral now, and that cannon is once again in the red.
Even though it has lost 1 cannon, it's still being relatively useful. It may not be doing a lot of damage, but it's also forcing Wennfel to use that 3-pounder to shoot the artillery and not the infantry. Which is good. Oh, no, never mind, it's gone now. Wennfel's going to be using that 3-pounder to just mow down whatever British infantry isn't fighting. Which is bad for the British, because They started out with less men as well. Oh, Leo didn't see the charge! Lancier to bird, kill an infantry unit.
Oh.
I are now fighting the men in the house.
Oof. Actually, no, the unit that
Oh,
he's killed
also,
outside the house where
only
the
British
unit
dice.
that was in the house, it's just they couldn't all get in. Because it's 151.
They also killed the British Dutch light dragoons, which means Leo's lost all his cavalry apart
That's
from
infantry.
the horse guards.
Horse guard,
Yeah, but I don't know where the horse guards are.
Yeah, interesting. He might have put them behind his lines in case somebody else came back. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, can't see them. Interesting. The house is still Leral's turn.
Yeah. That does mean he can set. I know he can afford for the Italians to have their tag. He was also moving some KGL through the town in a house to be able to shoot the Italians in the flank, which is dropping their morale down to red despite heavily outnumbering the men in front of them. But this maneuver means that Italy is now advancing.
Perfect. And yeah, the 6th line are now turning up next to the house, clearly.
Well, Wennfel's heavy cav moving up, they could be ready for a charge of the KGL light infantry.
Oh yeah, it's going in.
But will he see it?
Oh, yes, he did.
Yes, he did see it.
That was
Okay,
all- that was
that's one unit of cavalry he can use in damage to. You better hope for some good volley here to be able to lessen the cav dominance over him.
Wennfel apparently can do magic. He somehow managed to not lose a single man in that cav. Whenever I charge a square, it just refuses to leave.
Oh, horse guards have appeared.
There isn't much he can do with them, that's his main problem. And Wennfel's putting his grenadiers into the house.
Yeah. He's only going to be able to use those horse guards to scare, inspire, and kill other cavalry. And against other cavalry, he's outmatched. The Neapolitans, they can beat him. However, to be fair, they are down a pretty hefty amount of men in both regiments.
Foots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
88,
strong regiments.
56.
But luckily the British have very high morale, and that's the only reason they're still standing.
And he is causing casualties for the Italians. Just not quite many.
And Leo can hold on to the house,
Wennfel is now.
and
Wennfel is
he's
now
able to
outnumbering
force it.
Lero's left as well.
We've taken the building, sir.
Oh, Leo has lost the house. If I were him, I would just start retreating, and I would prepare to fight the flank that is now becoming the British. I'm not sure what Leo's really doing with his infantry, because the whole point of Britain, especially on this left side, Leo's left side, you want to have them in thin lines, so they can use as much firepower as possible, because they already have very high morale. You don't need them to be in a big chunk. And right now, the Italians have thinner lines than the British. So, technically, right now, he could outnumber, like, he could outline the Italians while having less men, but you would still be able to beat them in the gunfight undoubtedly. But right now, he's not using his full firepower, which means that he is now being outflanked and he's being outgunned as well.
His lines out more.
Yeah, so he's actually using his firepower more than the British are, which is a bit of a shame. It's sad to see that. Leo's general also is now being threatened by Lanciers de Berg, which are flanking around the British.
Wennfel has always pulling his cuff back.
Probably a good decision. Okay, there we go. The British start thinning their lines out a little bit.
Regiment
That's
they're
what I
just
see.
going after that belted unit. Just to make sure it doesn't come back, I guess.
Yeah, Leo's right. It's basically gone. The only inspiring unit they really have is the Horse guards. They're being outnumbered. They're being outmanned. If Leo can somehow hold on to that and use his time to be able to try and beat whatever is going on the left, that's his only chance, is to sit and
It's going to be
hold.
difficult, especially with the lack of cav, because Wennfel can just force him to square again and again
Yeah.
and again and shoot into squares, which will of course not really be great for the British.
Not to mention the
Oh,
artillery
yeah,
advantage at the same time.
Just shooting. Oh, and oh dear, Leral's about to have a chain
Oh.
roll, isn't he?
Yeah. Leo's right, but
Oh,
so
God.
does the Italian centre.
They're both trying to chain roll at the same time. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Looks like it's being worse for the British.
And here comes the general sprinting over.
Here comes the
19
jet.
men now. And the horse guard are heading over, soon we do something about those lancers, but if the lancers charge first, then oh dear. Well, you might actually get lancers, I don't think.
Yeah.
Wennfel's not. Oh, no, oh dear. Oh dear.
No, he has. Goodbye, horse guards.
They actually only lost 5 men in the charge.
No, I mean, he died.
Oh, and Leral's now just doing a general retreat, which is probably the best option for him.
Somehow the horse guards are actually losing the melee. Never mind, they're now winning. And the Lancier to back are
Oh
starting to
gosh, look,
disappear.
the horse guard
Yeah,
on the red
I
now.
think.
They might break.
Yeah, no, they break them. They break them.
Oh, the horse guard break too, though.
It's
Oh,
because there's
they
a square
broke.
next to them shooting at them, and I think he's
They
also
broke.
firing his artillery at them. No, he's lumbered his artillery, he's
Horse
moving
guard's
it.
broken. Leral now has no cav.
Yeah.
Oh, they came back.
Leo has given up the right as well. Oh, they came back. Leo's given up his right, he's completely retreating him out of there, probably going to try and
He's
reform his
probably
whole
going to
army in one
leave that lower
spot.
highland behind, just square them or something to delay. I don't know. Because I don't think they're getting out of there.
Yeah, Wennfel's scrabbling for to be able to move his army up. He's now massively outnumbering the British, and he can also flank them from whatever he has left on the left side. He also has more cav. He's able to shoot the British as they retreat. Wennfel absolutely in the better advantage right now.
Leo would have to pull something quite spectacular out of a bag of tricks to get this back in his favour.
Yeah. If he's able to stretch thin, which he is doing, if he's able to keep morale up, and if he's able to structurally defeat the Italian elite, like as soon as possible, if he's able to hold the infantry back, or if he's able to fight them in places where he's not going to get canistered by artillery, that's the only real way I see him coming out of this alive. He's, yeah, Wennfel's moving some cav up as well. Right now, oh, he's not got any support on his
Oh,
left.
dear.
They're
That's
breaking.
not good. That was just
Yeah.
one volley from
He's
Wennfel.
not really covering. He's not really covering his line. He's just mass breaking now on the left. He needs to get some kind of support
He has
over
the
there.
horse guard and his general in the same place. He should just probably split them across 2 flanks.
Yeah, right now he's probably too busy microing the right side, as there's cavalry and everything there. But he's just not paying attention to the left. He's not got morale support over there, and his men they have high morale, but they're down to low
Just
numbers.
looking at the mini-map,
They're facing scaring
it's
troops.
just Wennfel's
Yeah.
dominating the flank.
They've got scare troops in the middle of the line, the second line infantry. I think that's partly down to the game's fault for not actually mentioning that they are elite infantry, so Leral might not know that they scare or inspire. But unfortunately, he's not got his general over there. He's not got heavy cav over there. He's not got anything to keep his men alive or give them a reason to stay. So they are abusing that and fleeing. It's a shame because he will be able to beat the Italians in a straight
Just not being
gunfight,
allowed to do it.
but he just has to do it. He's not being allowed to do it, and he's also he's on the clock. He's got artillery moving up, and he's also losing his right flank. And if Wennfel's able to cross that river and crush Leral's right as he's fighting the gunfight at the front, he's gonna go. He's gonna go. He has no chance. Stretching his
He
lines
has
down,
managed to
very
get into a
nice.
straight gunfight. Problem is that he's still not.
Yep.
He's now no longer got any calves, so just squaring will be a problem.
He does have a horse guard unit, but the Neapolitan cuirassier outnumber the now one horse guard unit, and they also can probably both beat them on a
Never
one-on-one.
mind a 2-on-1, and of course here comes the slightly reduced power of the Italian artillery, as it's now only got one gun. Maybe a limber was destroyed,
Yep.
so I had to leave one gun behind.
However, there is also another
Yeah.
one. There's another one on the right, which is going into his flank, which is not good for the British, because they
There's
will
actually a
die
bit of flanking
very
over
fast.
here.
Yeah, the routed units now being supported by the general are forcing a little bit of an advance of Lero's army. He's flanking them. Yeah,
Not
pretty
sure
decent.
when,
Hopefully he'll be able
I'm not
to
sure
make
Leo
that.
should really be advancing here, to be honest, because he's just walking closer to where the guns will get to, and he's not getting the first volley off.
Well, it's better for him to be attacking the left side right now, because so he's forcing that retreat. By him doing that, it means that the 3-pounder's not going to be able to shoot him. So if he's fighting that little corner of the Italian army, as we'll say there, he doesn't have. So the cancer won't be able to
He
hit
has to
him
attack on
there.
the sides.
Because
Yeah.
he'd have to shoot through his men. Yeah, he has to attack the sides. He needs to maneuver his men. He needs to pull. So his right flank there, which has very little men, he needs to completely pull them away. Because that artillery is about to set up. Oh, he's advancing. Oh no.
Realistically, he needs to
He needs to
create the
pull
front
them
line
away.
to be at right
That's
angles
about
to where it
to-
currently is.
Yeah, it needs to be as far away from those 3-pounders as he can go. Otherwise, he's gonna lose.
Okay.
He is winning the gunfight on the left, but he's not able to. Oh yeah, not now. He's pulling back. He needs to pull out cancer range. That's what he needs to focus on. Cancer range is gonna be the enemy here, not the muskets. He is winning the gunfight on the left, as it looks. So if he's able to crumple that and flank round them, while just simultaneously holding off the artillery and infantry on the right, he could pretty easily
Oh, Black
crush
Watch
this
have
Italian
gone,
by
though.
fighting it piece by piece.
They're starting to get hit.
No, they're back, they're back,
gone.
they're back. He needs to get those horse guards over there. He's gonna have to use his horse guards to hold the right flank and his general to hold the left. A smart cavalry move from Wennfel here could end the game.
Get the cav on behind. Force.
Yeah, Wennfel's infantry retreating again. So, Leo, yeah, walk
I
forward.
think what Wennfel's worked out here is he holds the point, so he's winning. So if he forces Lero to attack, then he'll always get the first volley off, then he just pulls back, gets the first volley off, pulls back, and then eventually draws the front line back to where his cannon is.
Unfortunately for him, he is actually losing the gunfight. He is moving infantry over, but he's also having to limber up his artillery, which takes time. So if Leral's able to continuously force the corner backwards, he'll be able to move his army in a way that that the artillery will get in position, and then have to limber up again, move, and then unlimber.
It's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy, but Leral's playing very cleverly, he's fighting piece by piece,
He's unfortunately
detail,
moved his
essentially.
general from his left, and it's now starting to look a bit unhappy. And
yeah.
here comes the general.
Yeah, he's making the right decisions by fighting only part of Wennfel's army at a time, staying away from that right flank, which will ultimately crush him, and forcing Wennfel to retreat certain parts of his line, which is very good for the British. It's a solid tactic, and it is working. Unfortunately, it matters on how much longer it's going to work. Wennfel's realised that this is going to be a problem, and if he leaves it to just happen, he's going to lose. Look, he's got a line in orange. His line is going to start struggling, but he is sending some heavy cav over to threaten the general, presumably.
But he's already down to 12 men, of course.
But yeah, Leral is able to do this much damage, but Wennfel is now just moving his artillery over there. Someone's running apparently. Yeah, Wennfel's able to move his artillery, so he's moving his artillery to the left to stop any proper retreats. But look, even with a little bit of inspiring from the heavy cav, the Italian the Italian right is in orange is not looking good. So if Lero can continue this for just a bit longer,
I
he can
think
break
the
that.
big problem is that his right is held by a couple of the weaker units. Like, I don't think the King's German Legion
Yeah.
have great morale, and he's getting advanced on by Karasi and a huge number of line.
He just needs to keep pulling back
here we
and
go.
not let the artillery get him. Oh no! Oh, Leral, you were so close. If he just advanced his left a little bit more, he would have been able to break through the second line. That second line, which are in orange, they're inspiring that whole line there. Other than the Neapolitan Cuirassier, but they're mainly there to threaten the general. Oh, such a shame that
And
that
the
happened.
horse
It's going to
guard
give him
away
time
right now.
to put the artillery in. Yeah, this looks like the beginning of the end. Wennfel's able to, because he's not retreating anymore, Wennfel's able to
And
move
he's
his
trying to
3-pounder
run to
position.
catch up as well.
Yeah, he's able to now just completely outflank Leral, and he's able to place that 3-pound artillery onto his left flank to pummel the British infantry as they retreat. It's a shame.
He's now able to
It's a
get
good
both
battle, though.
cannons up. And all the stuff on
Yeah,
his left.
Leral's
back.
now outnumbered massively. He is positioning himself well, though. I'll give that to Leral. He's trying to stay relatively between the two towns, pull back constantly, not really let the entirety of his army get into a gunfight. Just let small pieces of it get into a gunfight while he fights with the other side, but that's not really happening anymore. Mainly due to the artillery that Wennfel's now placing. Because Wennfel's got his artillery moving forwards, we actually see where it's moving now. The only thing Leo can do is he can get that horse guard unit, try his best to kill that 3-pounder. And if he kills that 3-pounder, moves his army forwards, charges something, protects his general, and just fights Wennfel's right flank with his infantry, he'll win. He'll win that side. And I wouldn't know who would win the other flank.
He's probably gonna rout soon.
Yeah. He would have a far better chance winning this battle if he was able to kill that one 3-pounder. Doesn't matter if he chucks his cavalry away to get it. But if he kills that cannon and then advances his army, I'm confident he would be able to push through it. Especially with the inspiring unit of that army being quite low
Don't think he's
numbered.
gonna get either 3-pounder though, because Wennfel is being very careful with his infantry, and it is a very reduced cav unit that he'd have to use. Never mind, it's heavy cav, so it's particularly quick.
It's a lot of ifs. Yeah, it's a lot of ifs and buts. Right now would be his best opportunity to do it, because he's got cavalry near it. Wennfel's physically made a little V for the cavalry to just sprint in between. The infantry's moving, so it's not able to shoot, and the artillery's numbered.
Of Leral, and they're basically putting every unit there into the red.
Yeah, he's Leral's not getting any inspiring units on the right, and that's also the weakest part of his line, so they're going to disappear. They are not going to be fighting for much longer. He's throwing his general over there, but realistically, the Neapolitan Cuirassier can just kill his general whenever they want to.
Just constantly pulling back.
I think, yeah, Wennfel's making a bit of a mistake, and that mistake is he's focusing too much on his artillery. So right now he's created this little shape so that his artillery has the ability to shoot round shot wherever. He's got his 3-pounder moving, but it stops his army from moving. And what that means is he's giving Leral time to move his army, reorganize, figure out what to do. Just the ability to think. That's the important part. And because he's too busy moving his artillery around, because right now he's he's literally just sitting there and letting Leral do what he wants.
Pushing forward now.
And Leral just wants time to be able to reorganize. Now he's pushing forwards. If I was Wennfel, I wouldn't care about my artillery. I would move my artillery, but they wouldn't be the main focus of my line, because if I were to just get into a straight gunfight with the entirety of my army, I would crush this British one. Because it doesn't matter how good their shooting is, if it's like 20 units against 10, the 20 are going to win.
Leo's trying to maneuver.
Especially if it's these kinds. Yeah. So by him focusing so much on this artillery, on the movement of the artillery, and not something like a cav flank to kill the general.
He could do
Because
that with ease.
the only inspiring units he has is these. Yeah, the only inspiring units he has in his whole army. Let's just look at his front line before I say anything stupid. Yeah, he doesn't have any inspiring infantry. So the only thing holding his army up is the Horse Guards and the Duke of Wellington. If he were to put his cavalry round the flank of Leral, kill the Horse Guards that are protecting the general, kill the general, he would win the battle instantly.
Our men are running, sir.
I think Leral's realised that if he advances, it'll help him because he's just broken one of the line infantry units.
This could not go badly because he is walking towards the cannon.
To be
Oh,
fair,
and here comes
Leral's got
here comes the
British line
calves.
infantry.
No, oh dear, it's gonna break. He's going for the cannon, like you said.
oh.
It's gonna break though. It's not gonna get there. Oh gosh, it is gonna get there.
Oh. That could really work out for Leo, but at the same time it could also not work out because now he's not getting to protect his general. But he could also break the line infantry centre.
Oh gosh, this has turned slightly. His general's broken.
His general. Oh, his general wasn't going to hold anyway. And if the cavalry flanked around him,
Oh yeah.
oh
it's
yeah,
just,
absolutely.
Oh
He's
gosh,
not getting
look at
anything
that,
to
it's just
inspire.
bolting from right to left, and his charge.
Yeah, I
no.
think. So the cavalry charge he did in the artillery, some people might say that it was stupid because he was not protecting his general, or he wasn't protecting his army, or wasn't inspiring his army. I think that's physically in this game, that was the best move he could do.
It wasn't as if he
because-
lost his general to cav, he just
So-
lost his general from overshots, which would have happened regardless of where his horse guards were.
Yeah.
If it survived, he might have had a chance.
So, yeah. So if you were to look at realistic statistics, etc., the only way he had any chance of winning that battle was for killing that one cannon and then being able to force his way through the weak part of Wennfel's army, which was around that cannon.
Yeah.
And so by using that cavalry to kill that, he's increasing his chances of winning. However, by sitting behind, is Wennfel just killing the... Yeah,
Technically,
oh, I see that.
Lero's winning on LOC.
If he hadn't have done that, that's true. If Leo hadn't have done that, hypothetically, if he hadn't
His
have
general
gone for
would
the
have died
cannon,
anyway.
it would have been worse for him if he hadn't have done that, because he was able to kill a cannon that stopped canister, which would have killed his cavalry anyway because they would have hit the front line and gone behind it. And if Wennfel's clever, he would have been aiming for the cavalry through the canister anyway, behind the line. Even if he was to keep the cavalry there, Wennfel's cavalry could have flanked around either side, killed the heavy cav instantly, then killed the general, and then the cavalry would be behind the British would be trapped between cavalry that can charge into their backs and canister from the front. So by the fact he was able to kill that artillery with the heavy cav, he was able to take out half of the factor. Because if he was able to somehow break the Italian infantry, he would have been able to square freely, he would have been able to fight the cavalry. It was far better for him to throw the cavalry away, kill the artillery, than sit and die,
It's just
essentially.
unfortunate his general broke
he would have
at the
been more
exact
front.
moment.
Yeah, and I think even if his general hadn't have broken, he would have died from cavalry, he would have died from being shot, he wouldn't have been able to hold the line anyway because the line was too long for him to be able to actually inspire. Yeah, by that point in the battle, Lear really had to start playing like he was Napoleon Reborn if he wanted any chance of survival. And while he was in a very tough situation, he played very, very well for it. And I think he should be commended for being able to actually fight as well as he did with such a small little army there, playing nice little maneuvers, fighting chunks of army at a time. Despite Wennfel outnumbering him massively, he was able to fight a fair battle and he was able to cause a severe amount of damage and hold for a lot longer than before. So it was really only a matter of time before his death, but it became an idea of how long
And it
how long
does
he's
bring
gonna
us
hold,
back
how many
to
kills
when
he's gonna
Wennfel managed to catch Lero's general and take out, what, 17 men. That 17 men, if it had still been alive then, would have held his general.
Yep. So it's a little bit of a
That
chain
one
reaction.
Lancer unit coming
He
back
did get a
from
little
behind.
bit unlucky. Yeah, Leo got relatively unlucky this battle. So Lanciers the Berg coming back behind him. His artillery getting hit by cannonball. That's down to RNG. You know, lots of stuff like that. But at the same time, yeah, Wennfel was able to recognize these opportunities and really take them. So Lanciers the Berg, if Wennfel just hadn't paid attention, he wouldn't have seen that. And he wouldn't have been able to charge Leo's general. And Leo could have taken that 10 seconds and seen it, got his head cav and killed it instantly.
Oh.
I mean, I kind of
Leo's
love this
just
game
running
because
away
that's
now.
kind of shit that happens all the time. Leo, you bastard. Sit and die, boy. Come
Maybe
on.
he's just trying to pull the look at where my line is. I'm winning by LOC. I just need to survive 7 minutes and 53 seconds.
I can just imagine his mouse over the clock going, come on, come on, come on, come on.
I was actually in the VC at this point with them, and he was streaming it, and he was actually kind of doing that.
That's quite funny. Playing for a draw.
Well, actually, technically, be trying to play for the win. Because look, LOC, I'm almost winning. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 points.
Oh no, Wemfel's now covering.
Wemfel's
1,
now
2,
caught up,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
I
he's
remember
not
Leo
winning.
at this point really hoping that one of the units on the opposite side of the map, like the Sound Knife Cameron, were about to come back, and then he just woke them up.
Wemfel
Yeah.
doesn't care. He's just charging
he
the
was
square.
getting a
anyway.
bit fed up at this
Fair
point.
enough.
I was gonna say.
To be fair, it seemed to have worked pretty well, that charge.
I'm not really sure about the break anyway. Because that is what two of the
Oh, shoot, was Cav in the
that is
back.
two of the best cav units in the game, right?
Yes, they are very good heavy cav. They also look very nice.
Right pink.
Love the uniforms.
And this is going to be a complete blob charge from Wennfel, isn't it? Yep.
Looks like it will be. Yeah, that's good. Well played. Oh.
3 of them are just standing, waiting for
There we go. Okay. So surprisingly not too small of a British
the
army.
big for the British.
Well, yeah, he was outnumbered by just about 400
See the
men,
damage
maybe.
that Crasset did as well, 225 and 217 kills.
Ooh.
The artillery didn't actually do particularly much.
Yes.
It's actually near the bottom, 38 kills
Yeah.
and 66.
But I think he only uses artillery to kill Leo's artillery, which is always a little bit of a problem. You should always be going for infantry over your artillery. I guess it really depends on the situation, but yeah, pretty big army for the British. Only 400 men, so that's about 2 infantry units, maybe, maybe 1.5 more for Wennfel. Thing is, I think Wennfel also had 1 extra cav unit, so yeah, it would have been really 1 more infantry regiment. So yeah, I think it was a very well played battle between both sides. You know, it was also a pretty good teaching experience for players who are watching this.
Conquer tanks hobbits if you outshoot them.
Yeah, exactly. It shows that Napoleonic tactics win you battles, at least can help you win battles, because Leo was using Napoleonic tactics, and the second he started using genuine tactics, such as divide and conquer, and defeat in detail, you know, stuff like that, he started actually beating the Italians. There was a point in the battle where he was outnumbered by 10 infantry units, maybe about 1,500 men.
Causing orange and Italians.
Yeah, he had a pretty solid chance of actually beating the Italians at that point, because Wennfel wasn't making good decisions, and Leral was making good decisions. He was fighting only a small chunk of the line at a time. He was forcing retreats, and he was staying away from canister. And Wennfel was focusing too much on his artillery to really notice any of that.
What would have
It's just a shame
if
it happened.
the general hadn't died and had that 17 men from earlier.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. It also would have been interesting to see if Leral hadn't retreated when he did. So the point I'm talking about was when he was like the Italian line was in red a little bit. One or two of the units was in red. The inspiring unit was in red. But he started getting
Just
flanked
pulled
on his
back,
right,
yeah.
and he pulled back.
He could have probably left that bit behind.
It would have been interesting. Yeah, you might have. What I was thinking was maybe forming like a formation that looks like a 7 or something from the top down, where he's just got one little chunk walking forwards with a straight angle of it, the rest of his army just holding the flank, and he might have been able to just force his way through the Italians there. But
It's all
you know,
conjecture.
just not to be, never happy. That was a bit sad, but overall, very
See
good
how
battle.
well numbered Italian line did as well, because 6 first sim for all in the top 8
Yeah.
with the Cav. Anyway, thanks for watching. There should be, another couple battles from the round of 32 before we move on to the next round. See you then, like, subscribe, etc. Blah blah blah. La la. Bye.